The prison floated in space like a dead rock, cold, silent, far from any star. This place was not made for normal prisoners. It was built for something different, inside the deepest cell. Behind thick metal doors and energy walls sat a girl. She looked human, long black hair, pale skin, and strange glowing marks on her arms. Her eyes were gold, like fire, and they never blinked. The guards called her a monster. They said she'd killed thousands, that she destroyed 3 planets, that she laughed while cities burned. But in the dark cell, she just sat still, quiet, not speaking, not moving. Captain Elias Thorne stood outside her cell. His boots were heavy, his face tired. He had read all the reports. Every word screamed the same thing. Dangerous, killer, monster, why me? He whispered. A small robot floated beside him. Because you're the only human officer who hasn't seen her. Yet, Elias sighed. He didn't believe in ghosts or monsters. But something about this mission felt wrong. Too quiet, too many lies. He pressed the button. The door opened. The room was cold, freezing. She didn't look at him. Elias stepped closer. Do you know why I'm here? The girl slowly raised her head. Her voice was soft, but clear. They sent you to see the monster. He paused. Are you one? No, she said. But they want you to believe I am. Elias sat across from her, between them. A glowing force field. He watched her carefully. You killed 3 colonies, he said. You melted ships with your mind. You walked through fire like it was air. She smiled, but it was sad, not evil. I saved them, she said, but the truth is not wanted. Elias frowned. Why would they lie? She looked him straight in the eye. Because I was made by them. Elias leaned back. Made. Created, she said. Not born like you. Not like a normal human. They used me as a weapon until I stopped obeying. Her words were like ice in his veins. You're saying the Galactic Alliance made you, and now they want to hide it. And so they called me a monster. Easier that way. He didn't know what to believe. The reports showed images, explosions, bodies, destruction. But now he saw a girl. A scared girl, not a monster. Still fear whispered in his mind. What if she's lying? Elias stood up. I need proof. You won't find it in files, she said. Look into your heart. When you see the truth, you'll know. Before he left, she added one more thing. Not because I'm changing soon, not because I'm dangerous. Because you're starting to believe me. Later that night, Elias watched old security footage in his ship. He saw her running into a burning building, pulling out children. He saw her fighting strange machines, not soldiers. He saw her bleeding, crying, protecting, and he saw something else. The official video report was edited, changed, twisted. He checked. The dates, the codes. The truth was hidden under layers of lies. Elias returned to the prison the next day. As he walked down the metal hallway, alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed. The robot screamed. Containment breach. Elias ran. He knew where it was coming from. The girl's cell. He reached the door. Just as it exploded, smoke filled the air. Screams, fire. He saw 2 guards on the ground. One alive. The girl stood in the smoke. Chains broken. Eyes glowing. She didn't run. She didn't attack. She was protecting the last guard from the fire. Elias lifted his blaster. Sure, she looked at him. Now do you believe me? The prison floated in space like a dead rock, cold, silent, far from any star. This place was not made for normal prisoners. It was built for something different, inside the deepest cell. Behind thick metal doors and energy walls sat a girl. She looked human, long black hair, pale skin, and strange glowing marks on her arms. Her eyes were gold, like fire, and they never blinked. The guards called her a monster. They said she'd killed thousands, that she destroyed 3 planets, that she laughed while cities burned. But in the dark cell, she just sat still, quiet, not speaking, not moving. Captain Elias Thorne stood outside her cell. His boots were heavy, his face tired. He had read all the reports. Every word screamed the same thing. Dangerous, killer, monster, why me? He whispered. A small robot floated beside him. Because you're the only human officer who hasn't seen her. Yet, Elias sighed. He didn't believe in ghosts or monsters. But something about this mission felt wrong. Too quiet, too many lies. He pressed the button. The door opened. The room was cold, freezing. She didn't look at him. Elias stepped closer. Do you know why I'm here? The girl slowly raised her head. Her voice was soft, but clear. They sent you to see the monster. He paused. Are you one? No, she said. But they want you to believe I am. Elias sat across from her, between them. A glowing force field. He watched her carefully. You killed 3 colonies, he said. You melted ships with your mind. You walked through fire like it was air. She smiled, but it was sad, not evil. I saved them, she said, but the truth is not wanted. Elias frowned. Why would they lie? She looked him straight in the eye. Because I was made by them. Elias leaned back. Made. Created, she said. Not born like you. Not like a normal human. They used me as a weapon until I stopped obeying. Her words were like ice in his veins. You're saying the Galactic Alliance made you, and now they want to hide it. And so they called me a monster. Easier that way. He didn't know what to believe. The reports showed images, explosions, bodies, destruction. But now he saw a girl. A scared girl, not a monster. Still fear whispered in his mind. What if she's lying? Elias stood up. I need proof. You won't find it in files, she said. Look into your heart. When you see the truth, you'll know. Before he left, she added one more thing. Not because I'm changing soon, not because I'm dangerous. Because you're starting to believe me. Later that night, Elias watched old security footage in his ship. He saw her running into a burning building, pulling out children. He saw her fighting strange machines, not soldiers. He saw her bleeding, crying, protecting, and he saw something else. The official video report was edited, changed, twisted. He checked. The dates, the codes. The truth was hidden under layers of lies. Elias returned to the prison the next day. As he walked down the metal hallway, alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed. The robot screamed. Containment breach. Elias ran. He knew where it was coming from. The girl's cell. He reached the door. Just as it exploded, smoke filled the air. Screams, fire. He saw 2 guards on the ground. One alive. The girl stood in the smoke. Chains broken. Eyes glowing. She didn't run. She didn't attack. She was protecting the last guard from the fire. Elias lifted his blaster. I'm sure, she looked at him. Now do you believe me? The stealth ship floated through deep space, silent and cold. Captain Elias sat at the controls, his eyes on the radar. Every few seconds, he checked for Alliance ships. None yet, but he knew they were coming. Beside him, Star sat still, looking out at the stars. Her gold eyes glowed faintly in the dark. They had been running for 2 days. No messages, no safe zones. Only darkness. We need fuel, Elias said. What? Star didn't turn her head. They'll expect that. No, Elias said. That's why we're going to an old friend, someone who owes me. He set course for a dead moon called VIR in -12. It used to be a mining base now. It's nothing but dust and shadows. When they landed, the place looked empty. No lights, no signs of life. But as they walked into the broken tunnels, Elias whispered, He's here. I can feel it. Star looked uneasy. Someone's watching us. They reached a metal door deep underground. Elias tapped a code. The door opened slowly with a rusty hiss. Inside was a man with white hair and cybernetic eyes. Captain Thorne, he said with a smirk. I never thought I'd see you again. Ramos, Elias said. I need a favor. Ramos looked at Star and narrowed his eyes. You brought her. Elias stepped in front of her. She's not what they say, Ramos shook his head. You're a dead man, Elias, but come inside. The room was filled with old tech, broken drones, and old food. Packets. It smelled like oil and dust. Star stayed close to Elias, watching everything. You said you need fuel, Ramos said. That's easy. But the girl. She has a name, Elias said. Her name is Star. Ramos laughed coldly. Names won't save you when bounty hunters come. Star finally spoke. I don't want to fight. But you will, Ramos. Replied, they'll give you no choice. That night, while Elias slept, Star walked the tunnels. She felt something strange like voices in the walls. Energy, memory. She stopped near a broken console. Her hand touched it. The console blinked. To life? Screens lit up. Files opened. Secret ones. She saw images of herself in a Labyang, afraid, full of wires. Scientists watching. Commands being programmed into her mind. Then another file opened. A voice recording. This experiment cannot be trusted. Shut it down. If it escapes, blame it. Call it the monster. Hide everything. Her hands shook. Suddenly she heard footsteps. Elias came running. Star, are you okay? She pointed at the screen. They planned it. All of it. Elias looked at the files. His face turned pale. We need to copy these. This is the proof. But before they could move, the wall exploded. Bounty. Hunters stormed in black armor, laser guns, and glowing eyes. There she is. One shouted, kill the man. Bring the girl alive. Elias pulled Star behind cover. We have to run. Star closed her eyes. Her hands glowed. A wave of energy pushed the hunters back. Go, she shouted. I'll hold them. No. Elias shouted. We stay together. But Star moved like lightning. She jumped between the attackers, blocking shots with a glowing shield. She didn't kill. She only defended. Ramos ran out of a back tunnel this way. Elias pulled Star toward him. Together, they ran through the smoke and rubble, deeper into the base. Outside, they reached the ship. Ramos threw a fuel pack into Elias's hands. We're even now. You saved us, Elias said. I saved myself, Ramos replied. Gat. Off my moon, before more come? Elias nodded. Turned to Star. Let's go. They blasted off seconds before more ships arrived. Back in space, Star sat quietly. You didn't kill them, Elias said. You could have. I don't want to be what they say I am, she whispered. If I kill, I become their monster. Not, he said. You're something more. She looked at him. I found something else on that moon. A signal, a name. What name? Project Genesis, she said. The place where I was made. It still exists. Elias stared at her. Then, that's where we go. The ship flew through silent space, hidden between asteroid fields and dying stars. Star sat in the co-pilot seat, her hands pressed against a glowing screen. A small signal pulsed in the corner, a location buried deep inside a dark system. Project Genesis, the place she was made. Elias looked at the signal, then at her. You sure about this? Star nodded. If we find the truth there, maybe we can stop this. Elias set a course. Let's finish what they started. But they weren't alone. A large warship followed them from a distance, silent, dark, like a shadow in space. Inside that warship, a figure in black armor stood in front of a screen. His face was hidden behind a mask. His name was Commander Vecker. And he had only one order. Bring the asset back, dead or alive. As Elias and Star neared the target planet, warning lights flashed, tracking beacon detected. The ship's AI screamed. We've been marked. Elias cursed. They followed. Us. We have to land, Star said. We're too close to stop now. The ship entered the planet's thick gray clouds and dropped fast. The land below was dead, full of old labs, rusted towers, empty roads. They landed near a broken facility with the name Genesis Unit for written in cracked letters. Star stepped out slowly. The ground was cold. The air felt heavy. "This is the place," she said quietly. Inside the lab, dust filled the air. Lights flickered. Screens were broken, but something still lived here. The power system was half alive. Star touched a control panel. It sparked and glowed. Old files unlocked. Holograms lit the walls. One showed Hersmal, young, crying in a glass tube. Another showed scientists talking. "We created her to win wars. No fear, no limits." Then another voice. "But she thinks. She questions. She's starting to feel. That makes her dangerous." Star watched in silence. Elias touched her shoulder. "You were never the monster. You were their mistake. And their fear." Suddenly, a loud boom shook the floor outside. A dark ship landed hard. Commander Vecker had arrived. Troops in black armor marched out. Weapons ready. Elias looked out a broken window. "They're here." Star didn't flinch and let them. "See what I really am?" The first attack came fast. Explosions rocked the lab. Elias fired back, helping Star escape through broken tunnels. "We can't fight them all," he shouted. "We don't have to," she said. "I just need to get to the core room. What's in there? The original system. My birth code. If I reach it, I can prove everything." They reached the main chamber. The center was a glowing pod with wires like vines. A large screen showed old data records of experiments, timelines. Commands.Star placed her hand on the pod. The screen lit up. A deep voice spoke. "Welcome back, Subject Zero." Elias raised an eyebrow. "Zero," Star whispered. "I was the first and the last." Outside, Vecker stormed the building. His voice boomed across the speakers. "Give up the girl. Belongs to us." Inside the core room, Star uploaded all data to a hidden satellite. Every file, every truth. It would reach the Galactic network in minutes. Vecker's voice again. "You can't stop this. Star, we will erase everything, including you." Star looked at Elias. "You have to go now. Not leaving you." She smiled sadly. "You believed in me. That gave me strength. Now, let me end this." Elias gave her one last look, then ran toward the ship. Outside, Vecker entered the lab. He walked into the core room, blaster ready. Star stood alone, glowing with energy. "You were a weapon," he said. "And now, you're nothing." She shook her head. "More than you ever made me." She raised her hand and the room exploded with light. Elias flew the ship away just as the building behind them burst into flames. A massive wave of energy spread across the sky. He watched in silence. Then the message came through. From starhervoice.com/strong. "My name is Star. I was created to kill, but I chose to save. I am not your monster. I am your truth." And the files reached the galaxy. Every screen lit up with the real story. The monster was never her. The galaxy was shaking news channels, space stations, pirate radios. Every screen now showed the same files. Footage of Star in the lab, her pain, her creation, her defiance. People across worlds watched in silence. Some were shocked, some were angry. But many believed she was not a monster. She was a child born from Warren, left to suffer alone. Elias sat alone in the ship, orbiting a quiet moon. He had escaped the Genesis facility, but Star had not. She was gone. Her signal had vanished. When the explosion hit, no body was found, no energy trace, nothing. Elias stared at the empty seat beside him. She gave everything to show the truth. He closed his eyes, and for the first time in years he cried. 3 days passed. Then late one night, his ship. Alarm beeped. "Incoming signal unknown. O Raja and Elias." Opened the message. There was no video, only sound, a faint voice. "I'm still here." He sat up fast. "Star." But the message ended. Static followed. Then silence. He searched deep space, followed every ghost signal. At last it brought him to a strange moon with thick clouds and strange magnetic fields. He landed near a crystal canyon, and there she was, standing in the light of two moons. Her skin was scratched, her clothes torn, but her eyes still glowed gold. Elias ran to her. "How?" Star smiled. "The energy blast didn't destroy me. It changed me. I escaped through a fracture in space between here and something else." He looked at her closely. There was something different. She was calmer, stronger, but also colder. As they sat by a fire made from glowing stones, Star spoke. "I saw something while inside the core. Memories, thoughts, not just mine, others." "Others?" Elias asked. "Like me," she said. "Weapons made in secret. Not all survived. Some are still sleeping." Elias stood up. "You mean there are more like you?" She nodded. "Yes, some may be worse. Some may not care to save. Like I did. Then we need to find them," he said. "No," she whispered. "We need to stop them." The next morning, Star led him into an old cave. Inside were machines buried in stone, old, quiet, but alive. This place was a backup lab, she explained. Abandoned after the Genesis project ended, but not empty. Inside a chamber, a glass pod stood in the center. Inside it floated a boy as closed wires in his skin. "Who is he?" Elias asked. "Project Echo," Star said. "He was made after me, stronger, faster." But they removed his ability to feel. Elias stepped closer. "Can he be saved?" Star stared at the boy. "I don't know." Suddenly the pod blinked. The boy opened his eyes, black, empty, cold. He stared at them both, then spoke. "I feel nothing." The pod hissed open. Echo stepped out. No fear, no confusion. Just silence. Star stood in front of Elias. "He's awake too early. The system didn't finish. He may be unstable." Echo looked at Star. "You were like me." Star nodded. "But I learned to feel. Now to choose." Echo tilted his head. "Why? Emotions are weakness." Elias stepped forward. "They make you human." Echo blinked then. With no warning, he vanished in a flash of light. "Gone." Elias cursed. "Where did he go?" Star touched the pod system. He took some of the ship's coordinates. "He's heading to the old facility on Myra Station, where they stored early data. If he gets that," Elias said, "he could activate the others." Star looked at him. "He won't stop. He wasn't made to." Back in the ship, they took off fast. Star sat still in her seat. Her eyes glowed again, but this time sadness was in them. "I thought I was alone," she said softly. Elias looked at her. "You're not." She turned to him. "But now I know. I was never the only weapon. I was just the first one who felt pain and chose not to use it." The ship cut through space like a blade. Elias flew fast. Star sat beside him, silent, watching the stars blur outside the window. Their target, Myra Station, a secret data vault floating near a red dwarf. Star, it once stored the blueprints of Project Genesis. Now it could be the key to something far worse, because Echo, the cold, feelingless clone, had gone there first. And if he unlocked the files, the war would begin. "Why didn't you stop him?" Elias asked. "I tried," Star said. "Was faster. He knew things even I didn't." Elias looked at her. "He doesn't feel pain, or love, or fear. It makes him dangerous." Star nodded. "Yes, but I feel everything. It makes me stronger." As they neared Myra Station, scanners picked up power surges. "It's waking up," Elias said. Then they saw it. Hundreds of small pods floated in space outside the station, dark, silent. Then one by one, they lit up blue lights, like eyes. Star stared at them. "Those aren't escape pods," she said. "Those are units." Elias gasped. "He's activating the others." Inside Myra Station, Echo stood in a control room. Wires ran into his arms as he uploaded data into the pods. "These are my brothers," he said coldly. "Perfect minds. No fear, no weakness, only purpose." A voice behind him interrupted. "You don't know what purpose is." Star stepped into the room. Echo turned. "You survived," he said. I always do, she replied. Elias followed behind. Weapon ready. You don't have to do this, Star said. Echo blinked slowly. You still believe in choice. I do not. Echo raised a hand. Security drones flew from the walls, firing lasers. Elias dodged left, shooting back. Star moved like lightning. She created a glowing shield around Elias, blocking shots. Then, with a single wave of her hand, she shattered the drones into sparks. Echo frowned. You've changed. Your power has grown. I found something you never will, Star said. Compassion. Echo tilted his head. Compassion is a glitch.
No,
She said, stepping forward. It's my freedom. They fought. Echo moved like a ghost, attacking with speed and power. But Star was faster and now stronger. Their fists clashed, energy exploding between them. But as they fought, Elias worked at the control panel. He tried to stop the upload. 12 units already active. The system warned. Shut it down, Elias yelled. The system beeped. Biometric lock required. Elias cursed. It needs Star's DNA. Star saw the danger. She pushed Echo back and ran to Elias. I'll do it. She pressed her hand too. The screen blinked red. Error, incomplete code. Echo smirked. You were always unfinished. I was the perfect one. But Star's eyes lit up brighter. Maybe, but I finished myself. With heart, with choice, she placed both hands on the console and screamed. A pulse of gold light shot out of her body. Into the system. The upload froze. The pods outside dimmed. One by one, they powered down. Echo fell to his knees, shocked. What did you do? I gave them something you don't understand, she said, a voice. Elias helped her up. You okay? Star nodded weakly. It's done, but Echo stood again. This isn't over. He vanished in a flash of light, escaping into space. Back on the ship, Star sat quietly. Her skin was pale, her energy drained. Elias looked at her with worry. You stopped an army today? No, she said. I woke them. Some might still rise. Some may still follow Echo. And we'll be ready, Elias said. Star looked at him. No, I will. Later that night, Elias recorded a message to the galaxy. There are weapons out there, made in the name of peace. They are waking up, but one of them, one human weapon, chose to feel, chose to protect. She isn't a monster. She is warning and hope. In far away, in a secret ship hidden in the black of space, Echo watched the message play. He stared at Star's image, then turned away in the shadows behind him. More eyes began to glow. The galaxy no longer slept. Star's story was out. People on space stations, colony planets, and warships watched her videos. The Genesis Project. The Genesis Project. The weapons. The lies. Some called her a hero. Some still called her a monster. But all of them watched, and so did others, hidden in plain sight. On the surface of New Terrafor, a bright colony world, a boy named Kai walked through a crowded spaceport. He looked like any normal teen, quiet, thin, a little strange. No one noticed his black eyes. No one saw how he moved too perfect, too smooth. No one knew he was one of them. A sleeper, a shadow, programmed long ago. And now he was waking up. Elias. And Star sat in their ship above the planet, watching from orbit. There's a signal here, Star said. One of the silent ones. Another like Echo, Elias asked. Star shook her head. No. Worse. The shadows, they blend in. They don't know their weapons until the signal reaches them. Elias frowned. So they're normal people? She nodded. Did the voice speaks? What voice? Star looked down at the planet. Echoes. On New Terrafor. Kai walked into a shop. He stared at a small holoscreen. A message flashed across it. Awaken, obey. His hands began to shake. His vision turned red. A voice whispered inside his mind. You are mine now. I am your purpose. Kai screamed and fell to the floor. People rushed to help, but when he stood up, he wasn't Kai anymore. Star felt the pulse from orbit. He's active. Elias jumped to the controls. We're going down there. The ship flew fast, cutting through the planet's atmosphere. They landed near the spaceport. Crowds were running, screaming. A fire burned in the distance. At the center stood Kai, his body glowing, his voice strange and broken. I am Echo. I am many. Star stepped forward. You don't have to follow him. Kai turned. His eyes glowed black. I am him. She reached out. You're still human. Kai's voice shook. I was. Suddenly, his arm changed, turned into a blade. He charged. Elias fired. Star blocked with a shield. The crowd fled in terror. The fight was fast and brutal. Star held back, trying not to hurt him. His strikes used energy waves to push him away. But Kai was strong. Too strong. Elias found a power station nearby. If I overload the grid, maybe we can knock him out without killing him. Do it, Star shouted, holding the boy back. Elias worked quickly, rerouting the city's power. Sparks flew, then dash boom. A massive wave of energy surged through the area. Kai screamed and collapsed. The glow faded from his body. Star rushed to him. His eyes flickered. Didn't want to hurt anyone, he whispered. I know, she said gently. You're not the shadow. You're the light. Then he passed out. Later in the ship, Elias patched up Kai's wounds. He's lucky, Elias said.
Whatever.
Echo didn't fully control him. Star sat in silence. Echo is testing something, a new way to spread his code.
Yes.
If he can turn sleepers like Kai from anywhere, no one is safe. Elias looked at her. How many more like him are out there? She answered with one word. Thousands. Far away, in deep space, Echo stood in front of a black mirror. Behind him stood 6 figures. All looked human, but none of them were. They were his shadows, and they were waking, Echo whispered. Soon, they will not just fear the monster. They will be the monster. The stars were quiet, but the war had already begun. Echo's voice spread like a virus. His signal reached thousands of hidden clones across planets. Shadows in human skin, weapons in disguise. Now they were waking up. Inside Ilias's ship, Star stood by the window. Her gold eyes stared into the void. Ilias walked in. Happening, isn't it? Star nodded slowly. Yes, Echo is not just controlling minds now. He's building an army. He's turning people into what I once was. But you changed, Elias said. Maybe they can too. Star looked at him. Not all want to change. Some like the power. Believe Echo is right. Then what? Do we do? He asked. Star turned. I was created to stop war, but now I must start one. One final war to save humanity. Star sent out a call, a warning, a choice to every world, to every system, to every human who still believed in peace. This is Star. I am not a monster, but I was made as one. Now others like me are waking. Some will protect you, some will destroy you. I ask only one thing: stand, fight, or fall. People listened. Some were afraid, some were angry, but many answered her call. Old ships were pulled from deep hangars. Tired soldiers returned. Engineers, hackers, even farmers, they joined her cause. They were not perfect, not fast, not made in labs, but they were human, and they had hope. Echo watched from his dark ship. He laughed coldly. So, the first weapon builds an army of weakness. Beside him stood his 6 shadows, all silent, all deadly. He pointed at a star map. Begin with Earth. Elias stared at the map in shock. He's going after Earth. That's suicide. No, Star said. It's strategy. If he takes Earth, he controls human history. He breaks their spirit. She looked at the data. There's no time. He'll reach Earth before us. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we beat him there. Star nodded. They jumped to hyperspeed. Earth's skies turned red as black ships arrived. Echo's army dropped silently from orbit, no warnings. No mercy. People ran. Cities panicked, but then they came. Star's fleet, a mix of old Earth warships and strange tech from across the galaxy. She led them from the front, golden light around her. Wings of pure energy behind her, no longer hiding. No longer afraid, the first human weapon. Now, the last human hope. The battle began. Star flew through Echo's lines, breaking enemy drones with waves of light. Elias hacked their systems from the command deck, shutting down missiles before they fired. On the ground, humans fought side by side with awakened clones who chose not to follow Echo. Old enemies became allies. Pain turned into purpose. Then she saw him, Echo, standing on a rooftop, watching the battle like a king over his chessboard. She landed hard in front of him. "Enough," she said. He tilted his head. "You think you've won?" "I don't need to win," Star said. "I need to end it." They fought again, stronger, faster, more violent than ever before. Each punch shook buildings. Each blast cracked the sky. But Star's power was different now. It wasn't rage. It wasn't programming. It was choice. Echo laughed as she knocked him down. "You can't kill me. I'm in every system. I'm in every shadow." Star stood over him. "I know," she said. "That's why I'm not going to kill you." She raised her hands and released a golden pulse. Not to destroy, but to cleanse. A signal spread from her body. A signal frequency, one that could rewrite the code. Every clone, every shadow paused. Their eyes blinked, then softened. Some fell to their knees. Others looked around, confused, afraid. The war stopped. Echo screamed as the light touched him. "No, I am perfection." Star whispered, "You were just a copy of fear." And then he faded, gone. Later, Elias stood beside Star on a hill overlooking the ruins of the battlefield. Smoke rose in the distance, but so did flags of unity. Clones and humans worked out together, helped the wounded out shelters. The galaxy had changed. Star had changed it. Elias looked at her. "You were made to be a weapon." She nodded. "But I became a choice."